What's up, guys? It's your boy Gang. Welcome back to another episode of the Hunter Call of the Wild. In this episode, we do our first gameplay of the Silver Ridge Peaks DLC, which it's different than the first one. I haven't done it in depth. This was literally like my first 20 minutes or so playing. As you can see from the footage just before we left the cabin, we took a mission and we're headed across to the mission right now. Basically, this part is just a bunch of walking, and I've walked a good distance. And on my way, I decided I'm gonna do some hunting if I see any game, test out what the animals are like on this one, because I think on this one, the animals are actually kind of different. I'm gonna do more in depth on this one because I've seen more animals here in the first 20 minutes than I've seen on the on the map I played before. So let's get to the hunting and let's see what happens.
You found the tower. There's hopefully a free shelf inside, somewhere you can stash the supplies. Oh, you should hang on to a couple of the flyers though.
Alright, so here we found the lookout tower. We're gonna drop some supplies here as requested, and some of the flyers he asked us to bring here. Again, these lookout points are pretty cool because you get a scope of the whole area and it's a good viewpoint, and it, for a map like this too, which is very, very beautiful, it gives you a nice scenery of the landscape, which a lot of games don't offer that in terms of that wide openness. So this is one of those maps or one of these games that gives you that feel that it's, really nice looking.
Fantastic. That tower should have everything it needs now. How's the view from up there? It's great to have a hunter like yourself around. I'm grateful for your help with the supplies. I can't wait to hear your Silver Ridge hunting stories. Things have been quiet here recently, but with a hunter of your caliber on the reserve, we're gonna show folks that this is still the best place in the Rockies to hunt. Plus, you're not the only one working with us. We were able to convince Remy Warren to visit, and he's been logging his solo hunts out here for a week or so. He's got a pretty decent following online, so hopefully he's impressed with the reserve. When I proposed using social media to promote the reserve, the board were a little hesitant. But they're giving us a chance to try something new, and I'm sure it'll be worth it. So I suppose you were wondering why I wanted you to grab the flyers, right? There are people who come out here just to visit the lake. I'm fine with people standing on the shore, but until we know exactly what's going on, we need to keep people out of it. I had these flyers made up so we can pin them to our bulletin boards. There's a trail that leads straight to the lake, so I'd like you to pin up one of these flyers at the trailhead. Now, the flyers cover the basics: heavy metals, mining waste, and why to avoid diving in. It's not much, but until we know more, it's all we have. The lake is beautiful, and it's always pulled in visitors. It still looks the same as it ever did. Maybe even better, now that it's calm and peaceful. But now, I can't look at it without seeing what it did to my dad, or what it's doing to the reserve. People discover that we have one contaminated lake and assume that the reserve isn't worth visiting anymore. So far, the local wildlife seems okay, but our bookings for visitors, and especially hunters, have dried up. I have a few contingency plans that I want to try out. I'm a little nervous though, as our board can be a little conservative. And if my ideas don't involve pulling in hunters, it can be really tricky to get them on board. It was easier to convince the board to invite yourself and Remy into the reserve, given that you're both hunters with good reputations. I'm glad you said yes.
Alright, so two things as I make my way over to the first bulletin board. First off, I didn't know that jumping off the tower would have affected my health like that, which is, I like that. I like that the game has that realism to it. And two, it's crazy also how they touch on the topics of like natural disasters or contaminated water supply and stuff like that. That's actually pretty good. I actually really enjoyed this game, and I think I'm going to play it a little bit more in depth, get to know it, and probably drop a bit of tutorials here or there, and tips and tricks and stuff that I would do. I mean, I've never hunted in my life. This is something I've never done. I would really want to, so I'm gonna, I guess emulate that through this game and use this game as my hunting, how to get my hunting on before I actually do it in real life. So as you can see, we're making up our way onto the bulletin board now. We're just gonna basically put it on the bulletin board and then make our way down to the other bulletin board. So let's get that taken care of and get to the hunting. Making our way down, and I actually spotted a herd. I don't remember what they're called. I call them deer, but I know they're not deer. I need to get a hang of this game more and shoot better and like learn it and understand it, because I think it's pretty cool, like I've been saying. But this is where I took down my first animal. From here, it looked like it was a good shot. So I'll make my way down, take a look at how the shot was. I actually put the bulletin, the stuff up on the other bulletin board first. That way I could actually, scope out what else was around. But as we make our way down here, like again, I have to emphasize on how good this game looks. The map is amazing, the quality, and I'm playing it on an Xbox, which is not the best quality. So this is actually pretty cool. So up here, I'm gonna check out where he dropped just to make sure it was a good kill, which it was. As you can see, the blood was a lot of blood. It hit actually a vital organ. And then further up, I actually went towards the other bulletin board to place it, but I also saw other animals up there. So here I'm just scoping out just to make sure that I'm not scaring off anything on my way to the bulletin board, because I'd like to hunt and not just place flyers up. So I'm making my way over to the bulletin board really slowly. I don't know why I was moving this slowly. I guess because I didn't want to scare off any of the wildlife.
Take a look at the water. If I hadn't told you, would you suspect that the lake was dangerous? We might not be able to monitor the lake 24/7, but at least now people have been warned. Thanks for taking care of that. It's such a strange feeling to be publicizing the very issue that is hurting us at the moment. I know it's the responsible thing to do, but it still feels slightly like self-sabotage. Our summer season has already started, and normally this whole area would be covered with hikers. I've only seen a handful of people in the reserve recently. I'm sure that things will pick up eventually, but every day I'm reminded that my dad was the major driving force behind this place. It's just bad timing, I suppose. We'd had some other issues with one of the board members, but that's in the past. The best thing to do is to keep pushing forward. I've got some big plans to help turn things around. Who knows? Maybe we'll have this place at full strength by the time my dad gets back in the saddle. I'm talking a lot about family stuff, aren't I? I suppose work and family are the same thing for me, I've been watching my dad do this job since I was a kid. Let's change the subject, shall we? I've got a job that I'd like you to take care of. The big plans I mentioned before? One of these plans is a little passion project of mine. We're gonna need some gear. Rappelling gear, actually. I have stashed a few bags at one of the nearby outposts, and I'd like you to head over there and pick them up, when you can. I've been doing adventure sports for about 10 years or so now. It started with bouldering and rock climbing while I was on a high school trip. Last year, I got an accreditation as an instructor, and I was planning on teaching classes. When my dad got ill, I put it on the back burner. But now, I think we have a good opportunity to commit to it. Unfortunately, I'm a little too busy to teach classes just now. But one of my base jumping friends, Sam, is on the same course as me, so she's gonna lead the class instead.
Alright guys, from here basically we didn't hit anything major or get anything else. That animal that we just shot, I couldn't find him and it wasn't a vital hit. But I'm gonna end it here guys. If you did like the video, please go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell beside the subscribe button to stay up to date what's going on. And if you have any comments, feedback, anything, leave it below and I'll get right back to you guys. And thank you guys again for watching and for all the support.